Hello? Are you there? Can you see me? Ah, that's better. Clarity makes all the difference when communicating designs with clients, and SOLIDWORKS Visualize 2022 makes it easier than ever for any user to generate professional and clear outputs. I'm John Duffin out in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and I'm going to show you some of the great new functionality that is available for SOLIDWORKS 2022. Bringing a concept to life early in the design stage through product renderings and animations can help accelerate sales and marketing initiatives. Hdri environments have long been supported in Visualize. These 3D assets not only apply a background image, but also include some scene lighting. This lakeside environment has the perfect sunlight source, but the background image will need to be replaced with something that is more targeted to the potential commercial audience. Since 2D stock images are easily accessible and come in all shapes and sizes, these can add the perfect touch to any rendering, but traditionally require a trial and error process to align the model's perspective to that of the background image itself. Visualize 2022 simplifies this process dramatically with the new match camera capability. Using the 2-point perspectives of the horizon and ship structures, along with the ship's walkways, the camera's focal length is calculated and applied to the 3D geometry. This builds additional photorealism into the project by seamlessly integrating the 2D image and 3D model. The next step is make sure that the location of the light source in the 3D environment aligns with the light source in the background image. Rotating the previously added HDRI environment and watching for the Nemo shadows to align with the shadows on the decking is easy. Unfortunately, the shadows casted off of the Nemo seem to bleed through the ship walls. This is no longer a problem in Visualize 2022. Primitive geometry can come in handy for multiple scenarios, and in this case, the wall primitive brings in a vertical plane, which then can be positioned and scaled to replicate the wall location seen in the image. New in Visualize 2022 is the ability to convert this geometry to a shadow catcher, which leaves the shadows exposed while removing the primitive geometry, giving the exact level of detail needed to this rendering. For the next image, capturing the Nemo in its natural habitat is a must. Leveraging configurations and additional cameras in Visualize is an easy way to keep all of your renderings in a single project. For under the water shot, updating the HDRI environment and background image from the library assets is just a drag and drop. As we saw before, it's important to replicate the scene lighting as close as possible. This time, an additional area light is added by switching to the top view and using the Add to Match camera to create the light source. At any point, you can switch between live rendering or preview mode. This is an easy way to manage system performance when setting up your project, such as adding and positioning additional 3D assets. For this image, including a blue line snapper adds a nice touch. But what about a school of fish? Previous versions of Visualize had the ability to create model formations, but required 2 or more instances. New in Visualize 2022, patterns can now be created from single instance, and with the scatter feature, randomize these fish by defining the number of instances, along with the bounding box parameters, makes this process a snap. For the final rendering, a third configuration is created to capture an exploded animation of the Nemo. With the timeline enabled, groups are selected and keyframed to define their start and end positions. Going through this process of keyframing multiple parts and groups can quickly clutter the timeline. Now in Visualize 2022, items added to the animation timeline can be nicely organized into folders using the group options. The animation ribbons can also be color-coded, making it easy to find and reposition these keyframes into the perfect place. The first camera is all set to a wide-angle perspective and is keyframed into the timeline. A single camera can capture the action, but multiple cameras really bring a professional touch. You can easily repeat the process of introducing additional cameras and keyframes to your animation with just a few clicks. Moving ahead, you can see 3 cameras created. Visualize 2022 offers a much more direct approach to allow camera switching from one camera to the next. By creating a camera group in the timeline, you are able to keyframe in which camera you'd like to have active, and when skipping the need to create additional edits in third-party editing applications. Going back through each of these 3 configurations, everything looks good and the final render process can begin. As progress moves along and each rendering finishes up, Visualize 2022 offers a new updated output viewer to keep your projects even more organized. Render settings can be reviewed and projects can be canceled or re-rendered as needed. And best of all project outputs are referenced and the final deliverables can be opened. Year over year, SOLIDWORKS Visualize takes advantage of the latest rendering technology and simplifies it for every user. Generating world-class sales and marketing collateral like we see with the Nemo has never been easier.